Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Fund Manager Fridays with 5paisa.com. I'm Deepika Asthana, your host for the evening. Now, I think since we're getting closer to 8th of March, but nonetheless, I think the achievements that women have made and the great strides that women have taken across all industries and in every path that they've chosen is truly commendable and a reason for celebration. I think today women, more and more girls are getting educated. A lot of women are picking up careers in the corporate space. Those who are maybe looking for some kind of flexibility are also quitting the corporate space and then choosing to go their own way, start get into startups. But even though I personally feel that even though women have made great strides, right, towards independence and empowerment, for us the journey has only just begun. And the bridge in this journey could be financial independence. It's a topic that I feel very strongly about, and I believe, as does our guest for today, Miss Archana Illa Pavaluri, co founder at Pickrite Technologies. Hi, Archana. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for calling me in. And as you said, I'm also very passionate about the topic. So we're looking forward for a great discussion.
Lovely. I look forward to it as well. So I think, Archana, let's just dig right in then. I think, like I started off with, I truly believe that true empowerment for women will only come when we are financially independent, when we are able to make the money decisions ourselves. So, from that perspective, can we maybe just start with the true importance of financial planning, especially through the lens of women?
Yeah. So as you rightly said, right, we made a lot of strides in wherever we started. The fact that two women are actually talking over financial independence and hosting it on YouTube, that itself is a lot. We cannot imagine this even 15 years back or 20 years back, where independently we can just come and talk about it. So leaps and bounds, we have done a lot of improvements throughout. So coming on to the financial independence through the lens of women, right? How do we how do we even start about it? Like, how do we, is that the question which you wanted me to elaborate, like, or what is the
So
importance of?
I'll tell you. So generally, I think gender agnostic financial planning is an important aspect of anybody, right? But for women, it becomes a lot more important because we are brought up to be dependents. We're dependent on the male members of our family for important financial decisions. At the same time, our career paths are slightly differentiated. I personally believe that's one of the reasons why all women should have a financial kitty. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to talk about a little bit about why essentially women should think about planning their own finances, and then also through the perspective of how are their career paths different, their breaks and everything, and why thus it becomes even more
Yeah.
imperative for
Yeah.
them.
So irrespective of gender, right? As you said, financial planning is a must. And it not only on the gender, irrespective of the amount you earn or amount you have. Unfortunately, we are in a society or with a mindset that unless you have 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 1 crore, then only you should go to a financial planner and
Right.
then start planning. So that's exactly what we are trying to break, where we say that irrespective, even if you have 1,000 rupees, even if you are earning 10,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees, you need to be actually planning early and start saving. So that is the crux of complete financial planning end to end. When coming to so yeah, it is important for everyone, be it a man or be it a woman, but for especially for women, right? At the end, where does power come from? Power comes from the confidence what you have.
Sure.
It is not about the education you have, it is not about the background you carry, it is not about how much your father or husband earns, or it is about what confidence, what brings you the confidence, the power that you can walk away from any situation with your chin up, the power that you can actually try without fear of failure, the power to do something which you wanted to do always. And
Mhm.
the power, that is what exactly what confidence gives you. And that power only comes from financial independence.
True.
The rest all comes from different aspects, but the
Mhm.
confidence, right, that you are independent, you are not dependent on anyone to drive your life.
Right.
And so, and for a woman, that is very important. I strongly feel that at any given situation, you should be actually standing up for yourself. You are your own cheerleader. And that
Absolutely.
cheerleading can only come when you are very confident that I have the financial independence. So, like you touched upon a topic, right? Like today it is father and husband or male members of the
Yeah.
society. So it was fashion probably 15-20 years or even 10 years. मेरे पापा देखते हैं, I earn my money, my father looks into it, my
True.
brother. That's not trending. What is trending? I am money, I am the money, I take care of my money, right? I know what I have to invest in, and I know how I have to plan. So that is what is important. That is, so I'll just give you a number, and actually that shift is actually happening. And as we run Pickrite is a wealth tech startup, and we look at the data, the trends, right? Accordingly, in 2017 there was only 9% women were in the demat account. Today, we have around 20% is women who have opened demat accounts. So within 3 years there is almost a double percentage jump in women who have opened demat. The same in 10 years there was a 100% jump on the fixed deposits women were investing in.
Okay.
Right? So it is not that women, they are still backward. Probably it is just tip which has started, but every change starts with a step, right? And I think whatever is happening is in a right direction, where people have actually started looking into planning finances. And thanks to all the big startups, ecosystem companies like 5paisa, everybody who has started educating the importance of financial, it is no more a word which we are alien to, which we are feared.
Right.
So alien is the right word, right? So for us, someone says you have to invest in shares, immediately there is a shield which comes in and says, I don't know.
Right.
Somebody says which insurance you want to buy, I really don't know, I don't want to buy anything.
Absolutely.
So that initial fear, if so from women's perspective, right, I think what is very important for her to be financially independent is to diversify, start early, and plan for the retirement, plan for adversities, and also work towards the insurance. So it is not just investment, it is complete financial planning. It is a path which should be laid. So that's exactly for financial planning. I'll talk about career and ceiling later, if that. So if there is anything else you want to ask on this, we can.
So actually, yes, I would, Archana, because you brought about something like a couple of very interesting things that has come up in, what you've just mentioned is one that there is that alien or fear factor, right? Money is an important thing for anybody, and for women, let's be honest, our the ability to earn money is new. पहले नहीं था, we were all financially dependent on male members of the family. Very few people earned. So when you're earning this money, you also want to keep it safe and secure. Unfortunately, and this is true again across genders, I don't think it's a woman specific thing, कि people don't understand कि inflation is a factor which can impact the money that sits at home, right? So from that perspective, and you brought up this whole thing around education, which I also personally feel very strongly about, but how would, like, if you had to give advice to a woman investor, right, how would you suggest they should dip their toes into financial planning? I mean, it's very easy for us to say ki you think about diversification, you think about insurance, which is all great, and I would love to discuss that in detail, but just as a first step, for somebody who's not comfortable with money and financial decisions, how can they explore this?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what Pickrite is actually building.
Okay.
What the startup, what we are building today is for first time or medium experienced people, where
Okay.
they can actually focus on what they are doing, but they can invest in a more smarter in an autopilot way. So there are many platforms which actually help them. So start slow. I always say that investment is something which is a journey. It is not like you order something on Swiggy for 1,000 rupees and you can hop another restaurant. Right? Investment is always a journey. You are actually creating your future with it. So you're investing your future into the investment. So that is the respect which you should be actually giving. So when you said what is the advice, I'll say come to PickRight or go to any platform which actually helps you, and then start with small. So there are start with we always say that if you have actually 10,000 rupees to invest, right?
Okay.
If 10,000, I'll take an example because we are SEBI RIA, I cannot put up the stock names or anything,
Sure,
but
fair
I can
enough.
actually. So if you have 10,000 to invest, right? Or let's take 1 lakh to invest, that is your starting amount. You need to actually always accumulate, put in your emergency funds, which is your liquid, which you can actually take is immediately when you have a challenge. So put always around 20 to 25% on that. The rest, you should be actually putting it in a mutual fund for a long term, which actually suits to your risk profiling. So what is your risk, which we will actually analyze and say that. Then a part should go into your equities, in a high growth equities, which actually grow. And then you have to actually invest in a good health insurance. And that is a must for every woman who is actually watching, or even if they are not watching, if they have friends, ask them to invest in a good health insurance, because the minute you invest in a health insurance where your health is actually taken care, then you don't really need any of these emergency funds or your mutual funds or your equities. They can actually start accumulating. The biggest challenge what we have is for the premium we have to pay, we go for a lesser health insurance, not really knowing what it will cover. Right? So financial planning is not just about investing in stocks, buying and selling. It is about a holistic thing. So we actually so you should always have some in your FD, something in your mutual funds, something in your equities, which can actually grow, because mutual funds is a long term thing, equities actually give you a lot of good returns. And then put a little in insurance. So this is fairly for a starter person who is having as you grow, right? As you grow, wealth starts, there are different type of indirect and direct which can actually diversify. But this is the basic thing which I would suggest women to start with for a new person. And this is a bet which you will not lose.
Okay.
And this is a bet which will actually give you something where you want to buy that bag or hop onto a tour of 3 days, which you can easily do that.
Perfect. So, Archana, again, just for the benefit of our viewers, you started with liquid, to invest for emergencies and all, to allocate a certain percentage in liquid investments. Could you just elaborate what these liquid investments could possibly be?
Yeah, so there can be, liquid is, for us Indians, there are top is gold. Yeah, gold is 10% of world's gold is owned by Indian women.
Correct.
Whether
Yes.
none of us wear gold, but
True.
given a chance, we will go and buy gold. It can be a gold
Absolutely, yes.
ETF or a sovereign gold.
Right.
So have something which is actually liquid. So there are liquid funds, there are liquid mutual funds you can put in. You can put in bank FDs where you can immediately withdraw. So you can actually use cash. So when I meant liquid is buy something which you can actually withdraw. So there is cash immediately back in your bank account, which you can use it. So liquid funds you can use. You can go with gold mutual funds. You can go to gold ETFs, or you can buy digital gold.
Right,
So
yeah.
you can even go and put in physical gold too. So these are the funds. So this is where you have to actually plan, so that at any given point of time you have access to that 20,000 or 20% or 30% of your investable capital. So nothing is locked, because see, now today market is volatile, right?
Correct,
And whoever we all invested, we cannot take out our monies because we have seen a peak, and we know that peak is going to come. In the last 30 years, there was Sensex never hit the 30th year. It never went down. It was always going up.
Upswing,
So
yeah.
it comes down, but it always bounces back to a different level. So all you need is a patience. But there can be emergencies in these times. So that is financial planning. So plan something which you can actually use it, park something which you can give time for it to grow, buy an insurance which actually covers your health and gives you peace of mind. And that is how you start a basic financial plan.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think this point about health insurance is also equally important, because my understanding is what you also, I think, mentioned very clearly is that often when it happens in health insurance, we just look at the premium amount and we don't actually see whether the coverage is optimal or meets our requirements. And क्या होता है फिर, when a health emergency actually hits us, then we end up dipping into our savings. We end up, maybe selling shares at that time to meet our medical expenses, and that best can be avoided through a health insurance plan. So I would also like to actually just reiterate that, because I think that's a very important thing. And a lot of people, women and men included, when they think about financial planning, they only think about investing and not about insurance. So that's I think a big takeaway for our viewers as well today. But moving on a little bit, Archana, when we were just speaking, you also mentioned ki when you have this plan in place, you can buy that bag, you can do that vacation. So I just wanted to discuss a little bit on the importance of goal setting and how one can actually set goals. Like, what are the things we need to consider? The time period, the amount required. Like, people talk about SMART goals. So maybe just a little bit on how we can actually set some good goals.
Yeah. So goal setting is again very personal. So so
Sure.
now we are in an instant gratification time. So people
Oh yes.
people
Oh yes.
so people need goals to become finished. Like, I need to achieve my goal in a 1 day, 2 days, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would always say, I come from this Welltech startup, so I have to always talk about balance, right? And we actually promote balance. So even in goals, have a balance, right? So you know if it is a bag you want to buy, and it is a 6 months or a 1 year goal, and if it is really a Gucci bag or a Louis Vuitton, and if it is, so then if you want it through your interest, or your if that needs to come through it, so then you need to plan for that, where that money need not be moved, and you should be actually planning it. So have goals if it is for your son's education or daughter's education. So you that is the time which you need to, and you have to work always backwards to send
Okay.
your daughter abroad. If you need 50 lakh rupees, so how can that 50, how today whatever you have 10 lakhs, how can it grow to 50 lakhs? And
Okay.
those, even then, how you are not disappointed at the end of the day, how it can actually, because see, nobody can predict future. So
Indeed.
market volatilities will be there.
Indeed.
So how do you actually manage and put the financial planning is something a planner or a platform will work for you. But the goal is that you need to actually work backwards on a goal, having that. So there are always long term goals and there are always short term goals.
Right.
So having all short term goals will not take you anywhere. You will be absolutely left out in the longer run.
True.
So
Yeah.
always have a balance. So if you ask me, I generally see, for myself, I feel that I want to do at least 2 good trips in a year,
Okay.
where, so those are the trips, those are my goals. If I have to spend some money, I try to save for that and keep it, and or I invest so that I take out and do that. And there are other long term goals where plan to invest for my son's education. So that is how it is. And then you always should talk whether, so again, right, loan is something which we did not even touch upon,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Financial planning, insurance, loan also becomes a very big part. So for
Absolutely.
someone, taking out EMIs is a goal. So if you want to really remove loan from your thing, and you're paying
Right.
EMIs and you have
Uh-huh.
some investable capital, how do you actually manage it? So these are the different things where we can actually plan it out and do that. But it's always a balance on, and
Agreed.
come out of loans as much as you can. So that is That is the main thing. I know loan is very attractive, investment because it is a push and pull.
Indeed,
But
yeah.
I always tell that having, when you're sleeping, do you prefer having a 10 lakh loan on your head or a 10 lakh investments which is growing at 15% every? So what is
True,
that you
yeah.
like, right? And I think that is what is important. So together, if you can plan it, it's a holistic.
It's a
So for
holistic thing.
anyone, yeah, so for a woman who is starting, so everybody should know that really whether they need that loan. Home loan you can understand, whether
Right,
you
yeah.
really need a credit card loan to buy online clothes, whether do you
Indeed.
really need. So handle your instant gratification things. So they need not be your goals. Understand what exactly gives you true happiness. It's again very difficult
Very
word, true happiness.
subjective, yes.
Yes, okay.
Correct.
So but still work it out and plan few things which you can achieve in the next 6 to 9 months time frame, so you don't feel that your money is not rewarding you, but
Right.
keep it something for your long term, so you know money is working for you. At the end your money should work and create more money.
I like the terminology that you've just used actually, that some part of it is that your money should reward you. I think the reward comes in when you keep aside your money for a certain goal and you're able to invest and accumulate that kind of money and achieve that goal. So that's money rewarding you. But I think before money can reward you, you need to put it to work, like you just said,
Exactly.
right? Without, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So you have to put it to work, right? So both
Exactly.
of these elements are important. And I would also like to just highlight one of the things that you just mentioned, because we kind of live in an era of, like you said, instant gratification, and you only live once. So sab aaj kar do. So from that perspective, taking on liabilities or loans for consumption is never really a good thing. Taking on a
Mhm.
liability or a loan for building maybe a long term asset like a house is justified, because look at where the housing prices are as well. But to, like you said, buy a bag or any of these things, it's better to delay the gratification, invest and achieve that, rather than take on loan or a credit card debt, like you just said. So
Yeah.
so thank you for
Yeah,
that,
you
I
never
think.
know. You never know. That will kill you because it will accumulate. It looks easy, but as you rightly said, right? Nothing. There are no free lunches. If anything is easy money, I will suggest as a recommendation to all my fellow women friends. If it is easy money, then it is not easy.
You run from there. Be skeptical if it's
So,
easy.
exactly.
Yes,
If
very
someone
true.
promises you that I'll give you 30% returns in investment, please don't.
Mm.
there
Very
there is
important,
not
yes.
there is no easy way of earning. Your investments are time bound. They have to be put in right asset class. You need to have a right platform to invest. And if somebody says take money now, you have a credit card, you will get at 10%, just that, buy whatever you want, pay now, buy now, pay later.
Correct, yeah.
This is all really, they are great companies, but be assured that whether you really need it or not, because you
Right.
have to pay for it and
Yes.
you are not going to live without paying it.
Yeah, just because the payment is delayed doesn't mean that it will not happen. You still have to do it, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you will get haunted.
well, I don't know, but I remember there was this one of these Minion movies, Incredibles. I was watching, and there's this beautiful scene in that movie where this man enters the bank, and at the beginning of the bank, like at the entrance, there is somebody who's got a big pillar on his shoulder, and as he goes inside, the pillar keeps pushing him lower and lower till the man is buried, and that's the burden of debt. The pillar is the
Exactly.
debt burden, so it finally pushes you into the ground. But on to more pleasant things. Since we discussed the EMI perspective, uh, a nice twist that the mutual fund industry has given to this is the good EMI or the SIP, right?
Hmm.
It's a great investment vehicle, lovely way to achieve your goals. So maybe can we just talk about a little bit about what SIPs are and what the key benefits of SIPs are, and how our women investors can use this vehicle?
Sure. So SIP systematic investment plan, right? Not only on mutual fund, you can actually do on equities
Correct.
also.
Yes,
So in
correct.
PICRITE too, we call them as invest packs, where we
Okay.
actually combine equities, ETFs, and mutual funds together to give a more diversified portfolio for women, for anyone to come and start. So we actually have women invest packs also.
Oh,
So every
interesting.
month, yeah. So you can start as low as 700 rupees, and you can invest as much as you want, and completely rebalanced things. So SIP is actually which helps you to give you a discipline. So every month it can be as low as 500 or 1000 rupees,
Right.
and you can start investing it, and it will actually achieve. So mutual funds actually paved the way. They have invested so much to create awareness among people, this generation, that investment is sahi hai, and SIP is something which we
Right.
can do. So they find the mutual fund which actually suits you. Again, we cannot suggest any mutual
Indeed,
fund. So
yes.
yeah, so find a mutual fund which actually suits you based on your risk, everything, and what is the sector where you want to invest. As understand what is that particular 2000, 5000, 10,000, or 50,000 based on your capacity of investing. Choose where you want to invest, and find a platform which actually gives you direct mutual funds. Even in PICRITE we have direct mutual
Okay.
funds. So which actually helps you to invest with zero commission, and you get more units, and you get into a discipline of it. So whether you can let go, whether you can pay off your EMI or not, we really don't know. But definitely that will help you in your retirement pension goal achieving,
Absolutely.
whether you want to go for a abroad trip, or take your to buy gold, or study kids, or even for yourself renovate home. It actually helps. So always believe in the power of compounding, right? Compounding is a very strong term, and that is what it works. You keep on accumulating, and compounding really works wonders.
Absolutely, absolutely. I fully agree with you. It's a great vehicle, and like you said, and I'll correct myself on that. That mutual funds, of course, you can, but any investment, it's basically a way to invest in a disciplined manner. And
Exactly.
Archana, I just want to highlight something which you've also repeatedly said through our conversation is this whole idea of you can start small. You can start small. Another thing is, I think for a lot of investors, the biggest hurdle comes कि भाई I don't have enough money अभी. I will start जब मेरे पास होगा, right? But like you said, there's so many avenues where you can actually, you don't need that kind of money. If you really want to start your financial planning and investing journey, you can start with as low as 500 rupees to 1000 rupees a month, which I think a lot of people can spare or take out from their monthly budget. So that is something, again, like I said, I would like to iterate key start early. Start with whatever money you have. Don't wait to reach a certain point that when I accumulate this amount of money, then I will start planning my finances. अभी तो finance ही नहीं है, तो finances कैसे plan करें? Let's not use that narrative at all. So, and SIPs, of course, use it for any investment, not just mutual fund investments, but like you said at PICRITE, there are various ways, portfolios that you can invest in through SIPs. So some of the key takeaways from my end. But Archana, we've covered so much ground in today's conversation, and a part of when I got into this conversation, a part of my thought process was that let's encourage more women to start their financial planning journey, and also give some sort of a roadmap in terms of how they can embark on this journey. I hope we have achieved both to a certain degree. I
I
believe we
agree
have,
too.
but I hope we have. So, if you would just like to maybe just summarize the key takeaways for our viewers today.
Yeah. So first is like how you said, right? Like start small. Start is important. Early, late, old, young, nothing matters. Number doesn't matter here. What matters is the first step towards financial liberation, and that first step is actually going and putting, even if you're not putting in FD, though PICRITE works for stocks and shares, I don't want to promote that. Even if it is, go and put it in an FD. Even if you don't have an insurance, start buying an insurance. Get that confidence and power that you can actually do, and you are financially literate. Understand that you have earned the money, or irrespective, right? Whether you're a homemaker, whether you are a job, anything, right? You are doing something which is no one can else do. No one can actually fill your position. You are unique, and whatever you are doing is unique in no matter what you are doing. So whatever it is you have, start investing it so that you are creating your own future. So that is the first thing. Second thing is, start with a discipline. SIPs, be it mutual funds, be it equities, ETF, gold, start investing. Digital is the way to go. Find a platform where it actually helps rebalances, so you are focused on your daily work, not really worried about how your portfolio is managing, because it is not worth of spending 8 hours a week to manage your 10,000 portfolio. But it is always worth to just get it done by a platform where your 10,000 has the potential to become 1 lakh. So,
Fair.
that is, as I said, invest in health insurance. Second, start owning up what you are. It is okay to make failures. It is okay to let go. But it is not okay not to start. So, have balanced goals, long term, short term, balance it, so you don't feel like you're only working to create a future. So you live today, enjoy what you're doing, but future is there, and we need to plan for it. And inflation is like, today we are at 6% inflation. And we don't know what is going to hit another 5-10 years, and with the wars and everything, we really don't know how the planet is shaping up. So it is always better, and with this COVID, so it is always better to actually plan for long term. So don't ignore that. It is there waiting outside your door.
Nice, nice. I like what you just said. It's there waiting outside your door. Even though you can't see it right now, it's there waiting outside. Perfect, Archana. I think I will just echo one thing that you said, and I will close it there is ki start. Doesn't matter when, how, with how much. Please start.
And who are you? It doesn't matter where you are, who are you, what you're earning, anything, right? Everything is all, it's other side. Starting is what is important.
Absolutely. So, on that note, I'm going to close this, and I hope everybody who is tuned into this episode today is inspired to start their financial journey. And I will say this for every man and woman who has tuned in. It's not, financial planning is again gender agnostic. It's not limited only to, men or women. So, let's start on this beautiful journey, and there are various platforms across board which will help you on this journey, will help give you more financial education, make you financially literate, and handhold you through the financial planning investment journey. So get up, go online, explore, and open the door to the future which is knocking. So great, Archana, thank you. I've had a lovely time chatting with
Me
you
too,
on this.
Deepa. I loved
And
it.
and we definitely should be having more conversations about this. So we'll
Agreed.
follow that up soon. And to the viewers, thank you very much for tuning in today. I will see you next Friday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you, viewers. See you.